Hey everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I'm Professor Lex.
And this is episode 8.
I'm going to say it's 8.
8?
There's no way to know.
I think it is 8, which is crazy.
I think do you title them?
I do. You'd think if I was better, I'd pull them up.
No,
I'm not.
I don't think that of you. Don't worry.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you for your confidence. But yeah, episode 8 of this podcast thing that we do, continuing on into COVID madness.
Holy cow, does that mean we've been at this for 2 months now? Wow.
Shit.
Math, man.
Good
what the
job.
hell?
Good job, us.
Look at us.
Look at us go.
Look at us.
I was thinking hitting 10 would be some sort of mile marker, but like 8's pretty good.
8 is way more impressive.
Yeah, that's 2 months. 2 months.
It's a perfect cube.
It's yes. time is not a flat circle. It's a perfect cube.
Yeah.
Such math jokes. So yeah, I am quickly running out of alcohol. I need to go buy some. I'm down to pretty much I can make jasmines, and I have like a little bit of vodka left. So I need to go on an alcohol run, but I'll hold out. You said you were drinking your logboat thing.
Yeah, logboat Leia Berliner Weisse style ale with guava. It's really good, and I've got like I think 3 more. So I'm just gonna go get like another 3 6-packs of something. Yeah, I'm
pretty sure I'm gonna buy at least 2 bottles, if not even more bottles of that freaking Fukano Japanese whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
That shit. Oh my god, it was so good.
I think we're out of whiskey here at the house. So Jen's probably picking some up tonight if I know her alcohol habits.
Yeah, I'll probably hit up the big store. But other COVID update things, I got I did demustache myself for all of you who are paying attention to Mustache Gate. I feel naked and weird. I feel naked and weird without it. I'm not gonna lie.
If it makes you feel any better, you look normal again, and you look you look like yourself. It didn't make you look older when you had the mustache.
Well, yeah, because I'm incapable of looking old, but it just makes me. It just looked out of place. But it's weird because I'm like used to seeing it, and I look at myself and I'm like, man, did my lip always look this way? Like it's weird.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure for everyone else, they never got out of the jarred phase because they only ever saw it on like one Twitter post every now and then or whatever. And like, but for me, it's like as soon as I shaved it, I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna like immediately look at myself and think like, oh, there I am again.
A return to normalcy.
Yeah, I didn't quite feel that way. Like it was a little bit like weird. It still is. Like I'm kind of looking at myself in little. It's like I don't know. I feel like is my lip always that way? I don't know. It's odd. So anyway,
I think it goes away after like a day or 2.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I had Stockholm Syndrome, but I might. I don't know. There are things about it that I did like, but
I'm not going to tell you not to grow another mustache. We'll leave that for someone else to do.
Oh well, everybody hates it, and I think they're very right to hate it. No part of it was like I think that it's good. It was just that it was kind of good in like 1 out of 47 angles. Do you know? Like it was like that's all it was. It was like, oh, if I'm kind of like specifically at this certain angle and don't move or move my lips, it almost looks okay. And then every other angle was just like, no, absolutely not.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. So I mean, I have no illusions. It just kind of like weirdly grew on me. It was an abusive relationship. Well,
yeah, it did weirdly grow on you off of your lip. Hey. My little brother, he's younger than me by 4 years, and he works. He's a doctor, so he has to go and be a doctor for people who are under normal circumstances. He's a physical therapist, so he's not actively being a doctor now. Because they canceled his
COVID things, and he doesn't.
Because COVID, yeah. But he noticed that every time he went to a patient, they would say, "Wow, I think you're the youngest person I've ever met. You're so young. Look at your tiny young face. You small boy. Who is the real doctor?" And so, so Mike had to grow a beard. He didn't have to, but he's got this ridiculous looking beard on his. Well, yeah, he says now people don't talk to him about how young he is.
People do weird shit like that. I went in to do like I work at a school. We did like a parade thing for the students graduating through like people that, it's like the drive-by birthday shit people have been doing since COVID. It's like one of those.
I saw one of those outside my.
I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid. I'm not supporting it. It's just what I had to do. I was paid to do it. So I go up there, and this is like the shit that just drives me nuts. At like I don't know. I work with a bunch of old women, basically. And they're just like, oh, Will, like your legs are so pasty, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, first of all, yes, I am a nerd. I am wearing shorts.
That feels like bullying.
I'm wearing shorts for the first time in a million years. Well, it's like bullying, and then it's also like weird sexual harassment. It's like both. Because like they're not talking about anything else.
Bullying.
They're not talking. Yeah, well, yeah. I have, last podcast we talked about sex nightmares. I've had a lot of sex nightmares about my coworkers. Let me tell you.
Wait, hold on.
They're terrible.
Is that to say that you have sex with your coworkers and don't enjoy it? Or
Yes,
is it like they all get around you?
No, that is a sex nightmare. It's like, why brain? Why?
Oh,
I don't want, like, and then you wake up and you're just like, oh God. Like, that's a sex nightmare. It's bad. It's not good.
I miss out on those.
Yeah, no, you really don't. They're terrible. They're very terrible. If you haven't experienced your brain making you have sex in your dreams with a person you do not want to have sex with, like, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, I'll see what I can do about that.
It's not good. I wish my brain didn't do that to me. Like, the assortment of people that come through when that occurs is very random and never good. Never good. Like, it's jarring. Anyway, my coworkers sexually harassed me because my legs are pasty. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much my day. But speaking of
sexual harassment, that was your whole day.
That's pretty
Went
much
to school.
Well, that and okay, so this is for all you out there in butts land who are always wanting the butt updates. This is like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to title this episode "A Deep Dive into My Penis." So strap in, because there's been an interesting couple of days.
But wait, before we take our deep dive into your penis.
Yes.
If I'm accompanying you on this journey into your penis, does that make me your sounding board?
I hate you. You're the worst. No one should sound. I don't kink shame anyone.
I'm kink shame.
Don't kink shame anyone unless they're into sounding. And then look at them and say, what is wrong with you? Why? Why would you want this?
I'm pretty sure it's made up. I'm pretty sure it's a conspiracy.
It's real. People sound.
No.
Okay, for all you out there in listening land who don't know what sounding is.
You happy people living your lives.
Living your lives not knowing about sounding. I don't know why it's called sounding. I have no idea why.
I'm not going to look it up.
I have no idea. I just know that's what it is called. And it's when people like put shit in your pee hole as a dude. Like, when you go to the doctor and they need to give you a catheter for medical reasons, it's like that, but people think that it's
without
hot.
the medical reasons.
But people think that it's hot. And instead of a medical device to do whatever a catheter does,
it's like a toy car or
someone's finger or a ballpoint pen or
oh man. The ballpoint pen, just the visual.
I don't get it. It's the worst thing ever. Anyway, yeah. So, okay. So here's like, I've had no updates on the butts forever. And if you follow me on Twitter, you may have read a recent tweet, and that's tangentially related to this, which I'll get to in a second. But I'm on freaking Tinder, doing the Tinder thing, swiping, whatever the fuck. And I don't know. This was like a couple days ago. I had like a swipey fest. I was like, I had like some long poop or something. You got poop swipe. Everybody's got poop swipe. You got poop swipe.
I've been dating
once
since
again.
Tinder was
You
a
are
thing,
monogamous, unfortunately. So
yes,
you miss out on the poop swiping. I know it's huge.
Terrible.
Yeah, you should really just lament the loss of this experience because
the poop swipe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. I like poop swiped a bunch of fucking people, and I just like went about my life, right? And then I get like a random match the next day, and it's this chick who's like, she's kind of cute, and she's got some stuff on her profile that's like kind of sassy, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like, let's see what this is about. Whatever. I message her, and she starts pretty early on. She was like, oh, I'm like divorced and I have 2 kids, and I was like, all right, like I don't normally make a habit of swiping on people who say in their profile that they have kids, because usually if they're leading with their profile that they've got kids, that usually means they're like wanting you to be a part of the children in some degree. And I'm just, like, that's not good for anybody. If I'm like,
you're just trying to plow.
Well, I mean, yes, but also, even were I not, like, I'm not.
You're not trying to be Uncle Will. You don't want to be step papa.
Kids are just like, no. Like, if you got if you have like one like middle school aged kid or something, maybe. Like, because then like they're self-sufficient. I don't care. They can do their own thing. But if you've got like a couple kids and some of them in like elementary school or like younger, it's just like, dude, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. And then,
not trying to be there for that.
The worst thing about it is like kids love me. Like my nephews fucking love me. To death. Like they think I'm like the funniest, coolest person of all time. And I'm just like, oh my God, just please just stop hanging on me. Like, oh my God, like I don't want. So yeah, I try to avoid that shit because it'd be bad. They'd be like, oh my God, my kids love you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is not.
It's like, yeah, damn. Yeah, sorry.
This is not good.
Specifically, that's not what I want.
It's like when you go to somebody's house and you wind up their puppy, you know? And then you're like you go to somebody's house and they have a puppy or a dog, and you're like, oh, you're good pupper, and then you're just like, oh, that was great. And I love like dogs, but I don't have time. I don't have time for dogs. Yeah. Like my cat just shits in a box. It's easy.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't have time for dogs. So like, and kids are just like another level of that. So anyway,
kids are like dogs but taller.
Yeah. So that's great. I'm putting that on my tombstone. So I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, she's got some kids, whatever. Let's see what we talk about. I don't remember what we talked about, but we were very quickly. She was like most women on dating apps, in my experience, come in probably two common varieties. Are the most, I mean, there are more varieties, but the most common two, it's like type 1 is like the chick that just doesn't fucking ever say anything. Like you match with her and you're like, oh, she's cute. She has a profile, whatever. You say some words. She responds with like, haha, or
LOL.
Or lol. Yeah. And then you are constantly like having to like, okay, what about
instigate.
What about blah? What about blah? And it's just like mirrors the boring repetition of the male experience of dating in real life is to a T, where you're just batting your head up against disinterested women because women have like a million suitors at all times, and you're just like, hello, notice me. And
you're one of the million.
And then you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this tonight. I'm just going to go play World of Warcraft and fucking drink until I fucking pass out. That sounds so much better than having sex.
Hell yeah.
If this is what I have to do. So yeah, that's like one type. The other type is like the ones that they'll respond to you, but then it's not like really clear if they're interested in you or not, because they don't make moves. And I will make moves, but I try to be like overly cautious. Like it's 2020. I'm not trying to like piss anyone off. I don't send dick pics, whatever the fuck. Like I don't
Here's
do
my
that
fucking opener.
Yeah, I don't fucking do that shit. But like at the same time, it's like, I mean, obviously we want to do some sex stuff, and like if you have chemistry with somebody, it comes up organically. But sometimes you don't have chemistry, and when you don't, it's like one of you needs to take the plunge, and it's like taking the plunge as the dude is a little scary sometimes, because you don't want him to be like, oh my fucking God, what the fuck? Why did you say that? And it's like, I don't know, we're on Tinder, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck did you think? Like,
we were having just such a great time.
Yeah,
how do you feel about my penis?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's not what I signed up for.
I like to think I'm significantly more subtle than that, but yeah. So, you know, you get into one of those two camps, and it's like, so, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes you have good chemistry, and then that's neither of those. Then you just have good chemistry. But what sure. I don't see that often, so I guess it's those three types now. We've done the primary two, and then every once in a while, it's like somebody you actually have chemistry with. This fourth kind is like this chick, which is way less common, where she like, I don't even remember what happened, but there was a point where she was just like, oh yeah, blah, 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 something like bend me over and fuck me or whatever. And I was just like, I feel like we were talking about something, like it was not like anything.
Cars.
Yeah, it was like, so I don't even remember what the topic was, but I was like, oh shit. All right. It's like that. Well, fuck. Okay.
Shoot your shot.
Like, I guess we're sexting. Cool. And that's kind of refreshing, right? It's a little jarring because it's not common, but it's refreshing every now and then to be like, oh shit. Okay. You're like, I guess you're really fucking horny. Good for you. Spoiler alert, I guess I should match with more moms. Divorced moms might be where it's at. Maybe that's the real, yeah, or it might be the worst idea ever. Please continue listening to the story to find out. So we're like not like hard sexting, but she like sent me at some point like a butt pic, and we're talking about like, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm a tiny baby Tinder virgin. What is the difference between soft and hard sexting?
Oh, well, it's just a phrase I made up just now. So it's generic.
But what does it mean to you?
Well, okay, to me, yeah. So, and I should actually preface this with, she said, oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, hold that for 1 second. So she said like a couple things, and then she asked me like a political question. which I think is like her screening thing, which we'll get to. You need
Okay.
screening things to figure out
Yeah.
what people are into. You need to ask them certain questions to see if they're into other things. That's okay. That's fine. So she asked me some like, what do I think about blah political thing? And I like, gave my opinion on it. And then she was just like, oh, blah, 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 cool, here's my number. Like, I guess that was like one of her, like whatever that question was like.
You passed.
Yeah. Which in my experience, I don't normally have much success asking for someone's number. It's usually like things are going well and they're just like, here's my number, or they're going horribly and I don't want to ask for their number because they're going horribly. So anyway, so then I get her number. Then that's when it kind of did like escalate more quickly. She was like relatively quickly like into some things based on what I was saying, and then it was like butt pick. So I don't know. Soft sexting to me is like you're talking about sex things. You're both clearly interested in the sex things that are being said in a sexual manner. There may be pictures
beyond the academic.
Yeah. But then you're not like actively masturbating while you're texting necessarily.
Okay. So
you're like doing something else and you get like a sext. You get like a sext that's like, here's my butt, or like, what do you want to do to my butt, or whatever. And you're like, oh shit. Like, and then you're like, okay, do we like soft sext and just be like vague sext messages? Do I tell people on the World of Warcraft that I have things to do and that I need to leave?
Sorry, boys, I've got another raid to work on. I don't know anything about World of Warcraft.
There was a point I was doing Battlegrounds with Pharaoh and Gam and my buddy Steve, and we were doing like a battleground to try and like gear up some of their lower characters. And we so basically you capture a bunch of flags that are in different places and you like hold, it's like King of the Hill more or less.
Sure.
So it was like, all right, we captured the blacksmith area. Like, we'll fucking stay here and, make sure nobody comes up to steal the flag or whatever. And I'm like, cool, I'll do it. And I just like sit down and I start like drinking in the game because that's like how you refill your resources. And I like look over, I have my texts up on my second monitor because you can connect your text in Chrome.
Yeah.
I look over and it's just like, but like legs. I'm like, oh, what's going on over here? And then I hear like in Discord, everybody's like, oh, something got capped. What was it? And they're like, blacksmith. Will, what's going on? I'm like, shit! Like, shit! I was medium sexting. Like,
oh no, you were on the barrier. You were on the cusp.
So then we lost that game, which was really funny. So yeah, this chick is like super like just like. She's like, way into just like fucking the sex, which is, I mean, it's COVID. That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
What do you do?
What's not to like? It's COVID. I have no problem with that. Everything's good. So we're, okay. So I talked about how you've got to kind of like, check your things, right? You've got to like, check your
filter.
She had her little question, her filter test. And so there's certain things you gotta, you can use as either filters or like see like what people think about other things. So now begins the deep dive into my penis. So for me, like a thing that is like something I usually end up bringing up is how like one time I had a threesome with this guy and his girlfriend, and I usually end up bringing that up because it will do one of two things. It will either make the person that I'm talking to be like, oh, that's interesting and probably attractive, which is almost always what happens. Because it's just like I don't know, it's not a common thing. I don't know, dudes are not usually open about shit like that. So for me, right. It usually ends up being like a mostly a net positive. And then we talk about sex, and who doesn't fucking like talking about sex? And then you're like, now that we've been talking about sex, do you want to have sex with me? And they're like, yes, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, cool.
What a clever segue.
Yeah. So usually that's what happens. But it also, the secondary part of it is that it does like weed out people that would have some issue with that.
An adverse reaction. Yeah. Someone who would be afraid of your red meal.
Because I'm not. Yes. You watched last week. I am a venomous snake. Do not come near me. I will murder you. Or if you listened last week, excuse me. But yeah, exactly. So it's like a dual purpose. So I had never had. Well, normally the sex talk thing is like before we're like even like doing soft sexy stuff. So this chick was like already like kind of jumping a base as far as like my normal pattern goes, which again wasn't a bad thing. But
she was already in third gear or whatever. I don't know enough about cars to make that analogy.
She was plowing a field with a tractor, and I thought she might be tilling with words.
And you were ready to mill the wheat, but it wasn't time.
But I churned the butter, and okay. So anyway, those were the worst analogies of all time. So okay, so I'm like, all right, well, whatever. We started talking about like other sex stuff, right? My penis likes the butts. It likes the butts. The butts are great. I love me some butts. So I'm usually at some point like, you know, we talk about the sex stuff, and I'm just like, hey, by the way, just FYI, butts are a neat thing. You know. Butts are a neat thing. Because again, either A, they have never done that or aren't into it and they're intrigued. B, they are into it and we're both like, fuck yeah, which is the best. Or C, you're like, you say it and they're just like, oh, no, never, ever. And then either I can be like, all right, that's cool. We can do other stuff. It's not a big deal. Or no, nothing, because no. So again, it's like another like qualifying thing where you're like, you know, how do you feel? How do you feel about the I don't know, the water in Flint, Michigan? Like it could be any question, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So that's like one of them when we get to the sex topic that I'm usually bringing up. And then
this is your Flint water.
Yes.
Filter topic. Okay.
And then I'm usually segueing into like, okay, well, you know, if you're weird about butt stuff, here's my experience with butt stuff as a mostly heterosexual guy who's definitely not totally heterosexual, but doesn't identify as bi, which apparently scares the hets to death. So she got scared to death. I have never experienced this at this stage before. Because like well, first of all, she was like pretty left leaning politically based on her filter question that she asked me, which you would normally not like expect to have a such an adverse reaction to that. And she said she was like an atheist. So again, it's like there's no religion, there's no political conservatism. What is the reasoning? But she was just like, look, I can't fucking be with a dude who's ever like fucked a dude ever. And then, you know, and I'm just like, what? Like, what? Like, I thought she was like joking at first. Then I was like, oh my God, I think she's like actually serious. This is fucking wild. So I'm like, and I just played it very candidly, but I was like, shit, yeah. Like she's, I think, God, is she like a bigot? This is so weird. And, you know, she was doing the thing where she was very adamant to just be like, well, I'm not a homophobe. You do you. I support blah, 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 blah. And I was like, and I said, I was like, I was, well, it's weird because she doesn't believe in God. That's so weird. Right. That's so fucking weird to me. So then she's going on about it. And I'm just like, and I was like, look, I'm not fucking calling you a homophobe. Like, this is clearly a homophobic tendency. Like, I didn't say that, but like, I was like, I'm not calling you a homophobe. I'm just asking you, like, you know, and I was like, all right, look, at this point, and then it became pretty much like, you know, whenever your date is so bad and you just want to like kind of see how bad you can make it go, except that I wasn't trying to like piss her off. I was like, I'm literally just going to ask her like, normal question.
You might as well get something out of it.
I was like, I'm actually really curious, like, what your fucking point of view is here about this, you know? And you know, and it's exactly what you'd expect. She's like, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it's just not a thing. I just can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm
you told her that because you have had some sexual interaction with a man doesn't mean that a man will be doing you as you're having sex with her, right?
I know. I definitely, like, I said that. And then, like, and this is what's so wild about it to me, because, like, I've had this conversation with people who I don't want to have sex with. And so that's normal because, well, it's just people you're just talking and you talk about sex. And then people are like, I'm so fucking straight. That's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're fucking dumb, whatever. But it's never happened with someone that I was like remotely interested in, because normally they get weeded out by like other qualifying questions up to that point or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And so I was just like, shit, like this feels like so weird. And part of me definitely really wanted to just be like, fuck you. But I was honestly like really curious how like a person,
because it was a mystery.
Yeah. It was. I went into like fucking troubleshooting mode where I was just like,
exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah. When there's a weird problem, when they come and ask you for tech support, I can't figure out why my monitor doesn't go. Like, ooh, that's interesting. Is it plugged in? Yeah. Well, this is worth my time. I'm on the case.
Yeah, exactly. So then, like, so she's going on about this, and so I'm just like, all right, well, I was like trying to explain, like, okay, first of all, like, I mean, I guess if you just don't have a thing for like bi dudes generally, I think that's pretty okay. It's like someone having a preference for like tall men. You're not a piece of shit for having a preference for tall men, but I do kind of think you're a piece of shit if you meet a small dude and all the things work out well, and then you're just like, but you're not tall.
Oh, but you're small. Yeah.
Like, that's so dumb in my... Like, if everything else... And that's basically the situation we were in. It wasn't like... I mean, this isn't like magical chemistry, but there was chemistry, and it's just like, I can't... Like... So then she starts like trying to do all the like logical loops that don't make sense because it's in a logical position. And like the one that like fucking cracks me up the most, this is actually one of my favorite stupid arguments of all time. It's I don't know, like, do you ever have like things where people make arguments and then you just kind of like you dissect like how stupid they are on both different sides, even from their own point of view, that like they don't realize. So like you can do it with like racism, whatever kind of thing. So like the one that she like tried to bring up, and it was very like, it was an interesting thing to navigate for me because I was like, all right, she's like backpedaling into defensive mode after like everything that I challenged. So I have to make sure that I'm not like telling her she's stupid. Whatever. I just need to be like, all right, what about this situation? But what about this?
You're trying to extract.
Yeah. I'm like trying to figure out. So I'm like, so at some point she said some shit where she was just like, well, like what happened? And I was like, well, there's like this dude and this chick, and they were a couple, and like the chick like approached me, and here's the story of this, which is this will be very brief, but I think it's very funny. So I'm at a bar, this chick approaches me. And I don't remember what she said, but I was like honking her butt within like 5 seconds. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. And then I was like, hey, we should get out of here and do stuff for some shit. Cause yeah, why are we at the bar anymore? And then she was like, yeah, that sounds great. Here's the thing. I have a boyfriend. And I was like, fucking what? Cause I'm not down with no cheating. That's shitty.
No, yeah, no, that's wrong.
Fuck you. But then she was like, no, he wants to watch you fuck me. And I was like, okay. Sure. And then she was like, and also explore his bi side. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Fuck it, I haven't had sex in 2 years. Whee! Okay, so that's the story. That's the story of that.
And then you almost died.
And then I almost died. Yeah, it was great. I was almost murdered. No, but like that's like a thing that like I had mentioned basically. Like we were talking about like different sex partners. Like I usually end up talking about sex partners. I think a lot of people think that's weird to talk about like prior sex partners, but I find it really interesting because like they will tell you about things they did or didn't like about their previous partners. You can say the same thing. You can both
and communication
figure out,
is so important.
Yeah, you can figure out things that you both like, things that you don't like, things you haven't done that you're interested in. So that's like usually how that ends up coming up. So anyway, so after it's like a very weird message where she's just like, all right, wait a minute, like what happened? Like, and I was like, that's what happened. And then like, I assumed where she was going with this, but I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. And I also wanted to make sure that like, she was the one who said it. So she's just like, well, like, did you fuck the dude or did the dude fuck you?
Classic.
Okay, yeah. So this is my favorite thing. Because A, just because of the argument itself, which I'm going to get into in a second, and then B, because of my relationship with the argument and how people's brains explode when I explain to them how my brain works because they're simpletons and don't understand it or something. So
and you're a big brain Ganondorf player.
I'm a big brain Ganondorf player. I have better sex than you because I play Ganondorf.
Because you play Ganondorf.
So the thing that fucking kills me about that argument is like basically what happens is it's homophobic dudes or homophobic women that are both straight or maybe not because they're homophobic. And they have some, and again, this is not like an overt homophobic person necessarily, as is as is witnessed by this particular case, even.
Sure.
But you know, that's like flat out like that's a homophobic like tendency. To just be like, oh, you're not a man if you're the catcher. If you've received, that's a problem. That argument
that doesn't add up to me.
Okay, but that's a real. Okay, it doesn't need to. And I'm going to discuss why it's so funny.
What you're saying.
But that's a real thing that people say. They're like it's like the fucking the stupid prison rape jokes that are so stupid in our society that are propagated all the time. Where people are like, oh man, as long as you're not catching, it ain't gay. Like you're only gay if you're catching. Like if you fuck a dude, that's like you're still straight, and you just didn't have any options. No. Let me explain that point of view. If you fuck a dude, you're straight, and you just were doing with what you had. But if you get fucked by a dude, then you're not a man no more. You're not a man. A man.
Take it away.
You're not a man. So that's basically like what this chick was insinuating, which is an argument I've heard so many times. The reason that fucking kills me is, okay, here's my stance. This is my stance on it, and also why the argument like kills me. Okay, so I don't know. Whatever I am, I mean, I think if you're picking quick labels, I like mostly straight. That is the phrase I like the most, that I think is the most applicable to me. Most straight people like to call me bi. We did that podcast already. I don't identify with bi. Every bi person I know is so much farther on the gay spectrum than I am. So heteroflexible, mostly straight, whatever.
Heteroflexible, that's a good one.
Yeah, whatever. So whatever. That's where I feel like I sit. So being that in mind, I'm really not turned on by like 99.9% of dudes, especially if dudes are like dude looking. Like it's not
butch, sort of masculine.
Yeah,
dude,
any man dude. We had
your David Boreanaz type.
David Boreanaz is David Boreanaz.
He can get,
I mean, he's Angel. That's just like a respect fuck, right? Yeah, that's not even. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, yeah, we won't dwell on that too much. That was in the episode about Ganondorf and Young Link, so you guys can check that. I think it was episode 3 or 4, if memory serves, where we really jumped the shark.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, that was the one. So that's kind of where I sit. And what just kills me about that whole process is like, to me, I mean, they're both gay. Gay sex is gay sex. That's like an objective term, right? Like if you have sex with a dude, it is gay sex.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you're gay necessarily. That has more to do with your attraction. It certainly means you probably have some offshoot onto the spectrum of sexuality, But the sex itself, if it's like two dudes, like that's gay. And that's also what bothers me. God, I'm gonna derail slightly, but that's also what bothers me about the fucking pegging argument, because you're fucking a woman. It's not gay. You're all stupid. That's like objective fact. There's no wiggle room.
Or the fuck woman is fucking you, and that it's the same.
It's still straight sex. It's still straight sex. And people are like, but there's a dildo. I'm like, all right, so you're telling me I'm going to kill that. Let me kill that argument before we go on to the next argument that I'm going to kill. Because then the super hets, they're like, oh man, no, it's gay if a woman pegs you because there's a penis, a phallic thing in it. Therefore, it's gay. And I'm like, all right, so what if a dude fucks your dick with a pocket pussy, that's straight? No, that's gay.
Because you're still ramming the pussy.
Yeah. No, that's gay sex because it's a dude doing it. The sex itself is gay, and then they always just go like the hets. They always go, and then they like leave the conversation and they run away because they don't like they don't like to think about that. So okay, so that's one. So this other one that kills me is that because for me, and again, I don't fucking care. Like, obviously, like, do whatever the fuck you want. And, the whole thing of, like, whether you are or aren't masculine for giving versus receiving is super toxic and stupid and a dumb part of our society and our gender roles that's, like, so fucking stupid and should just go away and die. But, that being said, if I'm trying to frame the argument within the, like, quote-unquote logic of the dumb person making it kills me because if you're, like, getting fucked by a dude, okay, to me, that's like, you could be doing any number of things, like playing a crossword puzzle, or watching the television, or fucking his girlfriend. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to, you just take it. It's fine. You're good. But if you're the one fucking the dude, that means you're looking at the dude and you're like, my dick hard for that dude. I am turned on and I want to fuck him. To me, like, if either one is gayer and than the other, like, why wouldn't it be the dude fucking, because to me it's like when I had here's more. I told you guys this was a deep dive into my penis. So depression is a motherfucker, and my penis has about a 60% success rate at best the first time I'm with anybody anymore, because depression is horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's the worst. Believe me, as you can probably tell by this conversation, I have tried lots of things to make sure I'm not wrong. I've troubleshooted the issue, right? Like
you tried turning it off and on again.
Yeah,
made sure everything was plugged in.
It's not the kind of connection I have that's the issue. Like it's
not
just
the Cat 5 cable.
It just happens. I just have a shitty Wi-Fi card. So okay, but once my Wi-Fi card latches onto a signal, right? I'm good to go. But that first time, it's like I've got to turn the signal on and off a couple times. Sometimes the signal you're connecting to is like, whatever, I got shit to do, I'm gonna leave. And you're like, oh, that's unfortunate. Because my Wi-Fi connection is really fucking good once it's
really strong once I've got the connection.
I swear to God,
automatically.
Yeah. And they're like
5G,
and they're like, I'm sure it is. You're like, no, it really is.
I get like actually 150 gigs down, like
yeah. So
and like 12 up.
Oh my God. So anyway, so that was a factor in my troubleshooting phase as well. And it was a factor on both sides, right? I had I used two different boot devices. It was a factor no matter what. But these are IT sex jokes. Stay here all week, kids. So that's just a thing that happens. It's just a thing that happens. I don't think I can do anything about it. It's like a comfort thing, which we can pin that for a second if we want to go back to that later, assuming we want to continue on this train of thought. But anyway, so that's just the thing that happens anyway. But with that issue, if I'm not attracted to a dude, you can basically, if you're the one, my point is, and I feel like heterosexual women should understand this. And there's some recent comedian that was killing me about how they just did not understand heterosexual women because they felt like, I wish I could remember who it was. I just watched it recently, but I can't. But they were like, I don't fucking get heterosexual women. They make no sense. Because 85 or 90% of the heterosexual women I've ever met, it seems like they just never enjoy having sex with men. They just bitch about it. And that's so true. Dude, almost every long-term relationship person that I know is just man, my husband wants to do this and I don't. Or my husband doesn't do this, or he doesn't do this well enough, and they're just having bad sex. And it's and I remember the first time I had the gay experience, it was my immediate thought was this is fine. It's fine. Mm-hmm. No part of it was oh yeah. It was so much less of a turn on for me than women. It wasn't nothing, but it was
sure. Okay.
It was almost nothing. It was I feel like most of it was because of the whole thing and less about the specific act. But that's hard to extract because of, my particular data point. But it was pretty low, but then it was it was fine. And my first thought was is this how so many women feel about fucking dudes? Where they just they're I don't know, maybe he does something good, maybe he doesn't. I'm not really turned on. I guess I'll have sex. That's basically and I feel it is. I feel a lot of straight women are that way for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense to me. But so then my point is though, I feel it the generically submissive role of sex, it just it requires less. You can have that kind of sex without being interested. It's real hard.
Yeah, there's a whole fetish for that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's real hard to be the active fucker and not be interested.
The instigator, just the onus is on you when you're trying to approach these women on Tinder in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really hard to do that without
the same power dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what cracks me up about that fucking stance that people have. It just fucking kills me. So that was this chick's stance. She starts going on about back to that. Wait, were we on? No. We'll keep that pinned. Okay. So she brings up these are my own notes. Don't mind me. I'm free form. Okay. I'm free form going crazy.
Yeah. This is improv.
Yeah. So she goes back to, I said that to her in so many words in a less funny and more coddling
No tech
fashion.
support. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't remember what the fuck she said. You know, it was bullshit, obviously. But I could tell there were like some gears starting to turn. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is interesting, because I had already made like a tweet about it and been like, fuck, this feels bad. I've never had anyone, like I've never had anybody. It's not like I wasn't like even, it was just a sex thing with this chick. It wasn't like I was falling for her, but like, you know, she seemed kind of cool and sex stuff. And then it was just like for her, she was like the whole time she's like, oh, I'm so ready for you to fucking do this and do this and blah, 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 touch my fucking pussy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ. I was just trying to play World of Warcraft and you are sexing the shit out of me. Like, and then it was just a hard fucking stop on a dime. Like, wait, what? And I was like, oh my God, like really? Like that's so wild to me that you could be, you know, into someone and everything to that degree. And like, and much less the fact that like, I don't exactly present as like the alpha bro dude. So it's,
you don't at all.
It's exactly. No,
I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, the subtlety was a joke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's wild to me that like anyone would look at me. I feel like everyone probably assumes I'm a lot bigger than I am based on just the way that I look anyway, even if I didn't actually fulfill that.
So much as maybe present yourself. I understand the argument that you're making.
Sure. Well, how do you mean? Like, you mean like mannerisms and stuff, or like, or do you mean like?
Yeah.
I have bi mannerisms.
I don't know enough about bi people to say that you have bi mannerisms. You're very open, and I think one of the first times I sat down with you to commentate Street Fighter, you described yourself as bisocial or something. We were just like sitting there.
I probably would have said, if this was like 6 or 7 years ago.
6 or 7 years ago.
I almost certainly would have said homosocial.
Homosocial. That's yes. Excuse me. Homosocial. You described yourself as homosocial, which was interesting because I thought we were talking about like Ryu.
I probably made a sex joke. Joke about
probably what happened. But that's what I'm saying.
Which is a whole thing in and of itself, you know, while we're addressing gender roles and shitty societal things. But yeah, so anyway, so she's just like hard stop, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But then I can tell she starts like, I can tell the wheels are grinding, because she's saying like, oh man, it's so like, I just can't reconcile like your sexuality, but also fuck, you're so hot and blah. And I'm like, yeah, like why should that have anything to do with anything? Like if you're either, that's kind of where I feel about sexuality in general, is like people are, I think it's really unhealthy to be hung up in general about what you think you should feel based on what you think you are. That's like unhealthy to pre-box that
judge. Yeah.
And that's not to say that it's unhealthy to sit in that box if you really are comfortable in whatever that box is. But you shouldn't be like, well, I have decided I'm in the box and therefore I'll never go to, you know, this part of the box or whatever, because I know this is where I'm supposed to go, or I know this is how I'm supposed to be about it. Like, you should just kind of think what you think, and wherever you end up is wherever you end up.
You're saying that if someone is to say, I am a hetero, I am straight as an arrow, so as a result, as a man, I should never know what it feels like to have my prostate stimulated.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was actually not going that sexual about it, but yes,
sure.
That
but
too.
That's what I'm hearing.
That too. Yeah. No, that's definitely a fair interpretation. Absolutely. Like, yeah. Why wouldn't why? It's, you know, if it's with a woman, it's
you're
not
limiting
gay.
yourself.
If it's with a woman, it's not gay, guys. Just get over it. Like, fellas, is it fellas? Is it gay to eat food?
Your prostate's.
Fellas, like it's oh my god, barf. So
sorry.
So anyway, so yeah, it was interesting, and then like, so she starts kind of like coming around, and I had like already sort of given up, but was just interested, like I said, in kind of probing the situation further. And then at some point, she's just like, "Here's my tits," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're
still on this.
I guess we're like, I guess we're doing this," which really didn't do anything. Well, I'm going to use the word good, but understand the facetiousness of it. It didn't do anything good for my ego with regard to my typical strategy, because there was a point where I was like, "Oh she
got you."
Well, I think I got me. So like, I was like, there was a point where I was like, shit, like maybe I should question my strategy or do some different things. And then I was like, nope, there it is. There's the thing. Everyone's attracted to the guy that's only mostly straight because it's 2020 and people are intrigued
even
by
the homophobe.
Even exactly. I was like, oh shit, there it is. Like they're fucking like they can't fucking resist the intrigue. Like fucking come at me, hets. Like fucking deal with this shit. Like you can't handle the swag. So like then I was like, oh shit. So I don't know. She like fucking we've sexted quite a bit since, which I don't know how I feel about because it's like
those are mixed signals. You said it's off, and then she's like, "Psych, here are my breasts."
Yeah, and
that's not fair.
And meanwhile, I'm like, "It's COVID. Please send nudes," and that's that's a powerful thing. She actually does like, which is it's so stupid. She outside of the subtle homophobia, she does seem pretty cool, but like part of me almost just wants it to be like an experiment to be like, I don't know, if I can help this person in some way to like reconcile a stupid thing that they thought. Like I wonder if I didn't come out and ask it, I thought it would be like way too forward. But I seriously wondered if she's like a divorcee, which I hope that I mentioned. I wonder if there was like something with her, like her husband.
Or like he left her because he thought he might be gay or something.
I don't know. I have no idea. But like that's kind of like her like super adverse reaction to it. Just like I was like, fuck, like that. Maybe not. Maybe that's just how it is. Maybe there's nothing to that. I don't know.
It's a theory. The dots line up.
But I was like, fuck, man. Like, but yeah, I didn't want to ask it because I was like, shit, I'm not trying to like.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like even
make enemies.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest with you, something that I do try all the time, and I actually kind of thought that was where this might end up. Maybe it still will. I don't fucking know. Shit's confusing. Everyone's horny. It's fucking COVID. The world is ending. I thought, I was like, all right, well, maybe we can just like be friends and she has a cute friend that, you know, fucking is fine and that'll be a good thing for me to do. Or maybe it'll just be like some random chick that I can talk to because I do hate about Tinder. I've tried like several times to like end up being like amicable with people after you're done like touching their butthole. And it just never seems to work out that way. And it's like, not never, but like way more frequently than I would like it to. So I always try, like, unless someone's just overtly, which again, she was pretty borderline. But she did make a point, like, you know, it wasn't the active hateful kind of like that level of
yes, it was towards ignorance rather than hate.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. So it was just like, I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't, and I can't explain it. And then like 5 seconds later, she was like, I don't like that you can't explain your sexuality. And I was like, I have explained my sexuality to you.
I did my best.
Explicitly several times. You are the person who can't explain. Like, you know.
Wait. Like, so help me out. You had sex with a dude, but like you're straight? Go through the experience. Walk me through it. Take me through this one more time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that, because that was another thing that just like killed me, where she like her next, like it was like she had literally never encountered this in her life, which is again,
she's never heard of a person.
It's 2020. It's 2020. You're a left-leaning atheist. You
probably know someone bi.
That is wild to me that you've like never. So, okay. So then I forgot this earlier, and this was just so funny, where she was like, oh, like she was in disbelief about the fact that that any other woman had not reacted the same way that she did. And oh my God, I'm so glad you said this. These are so many more details that I should have mentioned before that are so funny. Actually,
glad I could help.
The funniest detail. Okay. So, and I was like, no, literally every woman I have ever courted, I've been like, we're going to talk about sex. I talk about butt stuff because I'm all about the butt stuff. Segue into, you know, one time I was pegged and or did a dude. Well, those are both separate instances.
And different thoughts entirely.
One's gay and one's straight, even though they were both in my butt. Write it down, kids. That's the answer to the test.
Keep up.
It's the answer to the test. 50% on those two instances. Very important. This will be on your exam. So I was like, no, like every chick I've gone on a date with, like whenever this comes up, they're either it's not a big deal because they're also bi, queer, or whatever the fuck, or they're like intrigued by it and think that me knowing like how to describe what I'm about and being open is fucking hot. Minor offshoot sex story. I dated a chick once who had clearly only ever dated like dude bros. And there was like some, not even like really anything crazy, but like there was like some stuff that I was doing. I don't know why I'm hiding details now in this podcast, but you know, probably.
Yeah, these are the things
but
you're.
There was some things, and she was like, oh man, like my ex said, like if we ever did that thing, like it was just the worst thing ever and no man would ever blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That shit was fucking hot. Like that shit was hot.
Can you say what it is?
Yeah, no, I definitely can't. I don't know. It's not even. I don't even know why. Like, I'm already like talking about fucking boning everybody, so it doesn't matter. So like, we were like making out, and I like to go in with hand stuff because my dick works with hand stuff. Always. Yeah. It's always good with hand stuff. I think
it's connected.
It's a paranoia, comfort thing is all it is for me. It's like, oh, babies, oh, potential STDs.
Oh, okay.
Blah blah blah. That's all it is. So like, if I do hand stuff, I'm actually like 100% always good to go. Like hand stuff, I'm always good because I guess in my brain, my dick just works. My dick works because there's never gonna be an issue. So like, if we just make out and do hand stuff, I'm like always good to go. So that's usually what I try to do, just because that's what works for me. Like the first time or two. So we're doing hand stuff, we're making out, and I like fucking came on her tits, and then we keep making out, and then I like fucking kissed her tits, and then she was like, "What the fuck? That's so fucking hot! Oh my god!" And she like fucking came. And I was like, yeah, that was fucking great. What's not to like about it? And then she was like, my ex was like, if I ever like touched his own cum, even on his like pinky finger, he'd like run out of the room. I'm like, it sounds like that dude was hella gay.
That's impractical.
sounds like that sounds like that dude was real gay because he was super duper scared of his own cum and didn't want to fucking.
Maybe he was one of those people who like jerks off into a condom. Or maybe there are people who are allergic to their own semen.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was like I'm a man and I came on your tits. That's straight, but if your tits rub against my chest with my own cum on them, then that's gay, and I can't do it. How dare you? Like, that's basically what her experience had been. And I literally just looked at her and I was like, that is so unfortunate. Cool story while I'm jacking myself off onto my own podcast. This chick
your podcast tits.
This chick had never had an orgasm before. She was like 27, I think. I am not cool enough to have given her an orgasm, but I did get her 97% of the way there. And then the next day she was like, I masturbated and I orgasmed for the first time at 27. You're the best. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Thank God. People need
good for her.
Yeah, right? I was so happy for her. It was fucking great. I got real fucking close. And I was like, nah, see what we just did? What we just did right there? You were good. You just got to do that. And she was like, it feels like I'm going to pee. I'm like, nah, just keep going.
No, it's fine. We all have to pee sometimes.
She's like, are you sure? Okay. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, just fucking keep going. You're good. Like, just do it. Just keep going. Like, you're good to go. Just press the button. So I told you guys this was a deep dive into my penis, man. Anyway.
They weren't prepared.
Yeah, no one is prepared. No one's prepared. So, okay. So then with back to the main story. So the thing that fucking killed me that was so funny is that she started telling me that she was texting another dude. So she's fucking like one and or two other dudes actively. Polyamory's neat, wear condoms. So she's like, oh, I'm fucking this dude named Brian. And he has like big dick energy and he's so fucking hot and he just like, he exudes sex and he's a man and fucking, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. I don't bring those things. I have big average dick energy. That is, I
have confident sex game.
I exude normal sized penis energy. Like I radiate that shit.
Mean, median, mode.
Yeah. So she's saying that about this dude, like at some other point in the conversation. This is like backstory. Like before the fall, right? Before I was unacceptably 89.4% heterosexual, like or whatever. Yeah. So she fucking like had been saying some shit about this dude, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking great. Like, good for you, good for him. Thanks for sending me a butt picture, whatever. It's all like copacetic. And then she like, one of the things she like derailed into when her brain was breaking was like, she messaged me like, I'm asking this fucking Brian guy if he's like ever done a thing with a dude. And I think like, I can only assume her thought was like, like that this guy is like, this Brian's a real,
he's a man's man.
Brian's a real man.
Yeah.
And Brian's not blah, blah, blah. And like, oh my God, dude, the universe fucking came together on this shit. And she fucking sends me this message and she's like, all right, Brian says he hasn't fucked a dude or been fucked by a dude, but Brian's being evasive when I ask him if he's ever done anything at all with a dude. What's that about? And
it means he probably explored.
And I'm literally, yeah, well, obviously, we're like any normal person. Like, and I feel bad for Brian. Brian's just going about his life being like an alpha dude, and this chick like starts going on a fucking witch hunt because I blew her mind, like texting every dude she's ever fucked, apparently, about whether they did anything.
And one time in college, Brian made out with the dude just because he thought he was cute and thought maybe he felt something, and then he didn't, and he went about his life.
How dare he? How dare Brian? So then she's like saying this, and she literally said like, what the fuck? I don't know what to think anymore. And I was just like, and then she started like trying to like reel it back in. She started trying. Now again, I haven't fucked this chick. I've only sexted her.
She's rationalizing.
I've only sexted her, but I know she's boned this Brian dude because we were talking about previous sex partners, and this was one of the dudes. So she's like backpedaling. She's like, oh, like it's like the person in the movie where the fucking climax of the movie hits, and they're like, no, I can't fucking, I'm in denial of a thing, and it's like a bad guy, and then they realize they've been this bad guy.
They turn around.
Yeah. It's like she's like, no, I can't. Like I don't know. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. I'm not trying to be fucking hateful. Blah 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 blah. You do you. I support you. Blah blah blah. I just can't have sex with a dude who's done anything with another dude. And then I was like, it sounds like you already did, winky face.
Damn, dude. Get got.
And then she goes, well, I won't do it again. And I was just like, all right, like whatever. Like,
I don't know,
what's
man.
the point? What's the point? She's
Brian sounds hot.
And then she goes, no. And then she's like, God, Brian was so good at fucking though. And I was just like, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
And I'm like, I'm in Brian's court. I'm like, dude, you should totally go fuck Brian. Like the dude sounds
he sounds hot. He seems to know what he's doing. That exploration seems to have paid off. He clearly knows something that everybody else doesn't.
Oh my God, dude. So like that shit was just killing me. She ended up being pissed that he was being evasive, which I did agree with. I was like, it is legit.
Okay.
Because, it's stupid to withhold information or whatever the fuck. But I was like, look, on the other hand, I mean, keep in mind, it's easy for me because I'm not the alpha male man. But like, maybe for Brian, dude, there's more social pressure because he is like alpha dude and maybe isn't like super, and I'm like, that doesn't excuse lying. Like, fuck that shit, obviously. Like,
yeah,
don't lie about things. But also, I don't know, think about the pressure of that. There's a lot more. The double standard of dudes is crazy. Like she was even talking about, and again, this is, I guess, not surprising because, fucking homophobic, bigotry, closed-mindedness, whatever the fuck. But like, she was talking about like, most people are okay with like an FFM threesome. That's a female, male.
Female, yes.
For all of you playing the home game.
I've seen the internet before.
It's true, and it's horseshit, right? Because it's more socially acceptable for a bad reason, to be fair. But it's more socially acceptable for women to experiment because women just need one good dickin' and they'll realize they're not a lesbian. They just need to be that. They just need one good dick. They need a real mound. A real meow. A meow.
The audio was cutting out just a little bit while you were doing that weird growl, and it sounded like they just need a real meow.
Oh, it's
what kind of cat do they need? Will, tell me, is it a Siamese?
I have RTX turned on in Discord. I need to kick it down. Anyway, yeah, they just need a mound. And then all those lesbians, when they get the right mound and the right dick, then they're not gonna be lesbians no more. So that's okay. But if you're a dude and anybody touches your butthole, even yourself, if you clean your own butthole in the shower, you are going to hell, and you can never have children because it
corrupts you.
You're a fucking corrupted disgrace to American society. Woo! Yeehaw! NASCAR, nachos, cheeseburgers. All right.
Well, so actually, on that, I think that's the same thought. You dressed it up like it was two different thoughts, but it's the same thought. Both times, whether it was a dude or a woman, when they had the penis in them, then they were converted.
Shit!
Yeah.
Astute,
the magic power of penis.
Astute observation.
I'm right here for it. That's why they call me the professor.
That's why. That's very astute. I had never looked at it that way before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if you guys want to break people's minds at parties, ask them how they feel about dudes putting like their own penis in their own butt or dudes blowing themselves. And then when they tell you when the hets are like, that's definitely gay, then you ask the het dude or the het woman, you're like, all right, but like, what if they jack off? And then they run away.
They can't handle it, man.
And then they run away. They're like, well, it's not gay to jack off because reasons, but it's gay to jack off another dude, right? Right. Okay, so is it gay to suck your own dick? Well, yes, because you're sucking a dick. All right, but and then they just break. They can't. It's a logical, incalculable thing for them.
You're out here trying to hurt people.
I love it. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Living their
That's
own
why
lives.
I love, dude. Shout out, dude. Fucking trans rights. Shout out to our trans community.
Yeah.
I love that trans people exist so that they can annihilate the stupid, unnecessary, bad gender roles of society, and because that's the great thing. That's the great thing about trans people is like at a certain point, every homophobic, straight woman or man will see a trans person and not know that they're a trans person, and they'll be like, oh man, that they is attractive on whatever spectrum they're on, and then someone will be like, oh man, but they're trans, like one of their dumb friends or whatever. and then they'll be like, wait, what? And then their whole brain is like, but I thought like
I said they were hot. I looked at their butt.
Yeah.
I'm straight. I saw their butt. No.
Oh no, I might be 98% straight.
And then they look in the mirror and they have that realization.
Woe is me. So yeah, shout outs to the trans community. Thanks for fucking helping society climb out ever so slowly of a shitty ditch that we never needed to be in.
Yeah.
Ever. Anyway, that is, I think, a deep dive into my penis.
Wow.
Yeah. There are plenty of other things, but that's the one. That's the one that's recently relevant. So,
yeah.
How's your life, Lex?
Dude, my life is fine. Okay. You were talking about like how you were having sex with that girl and it was fun and you guys were growing and developing as individuals, and I was like, I've taken my sourdough starter out of the fridge, which means in another like 4 hours or so I'll be able to feed the starter and then I'll be able to put some bread together.
You've never been straighter or more monogamous than you are right now.
It's nothing to do with the straightness.
That's the monogamy, strictly the monogamy talking. Yeah. Dude, I was talking to that shit cracked me up, like, because I sound very cool. And that was another thing with this particular chick that I've been talking about this whole episode, where she's just like, whoa, what kind of life do you live where people just come up to you, like multiple people, and just ask you to fuck them? Like, it really doesn't happen that often. It was like a one-time thing. I know I sound, really cool and worldly, but I'm really not, because I was in a monogamous relationship for a million years. 10 of them.
What a
10
sucker.
of them. What an idiot. But I was talking to one of my buddy's friends who's been married, and it was killing me because I think he has 2 kids now. He might have 3. I forget. He got like 2 or 3 kids. And he was saying something to me about like, like I think he was doing like a smoke at some party, and I was like out drinking, talking to him, and he was just like, man, like fucking, he's like, my wife's so hot, but like, God, there's just only so many different like things you can do or ways you can fuck them. And he's like, he was just like, she wants to have like another kid, and she's just like on my shit about like fucking her to have this kid, and I'm just like, I just want to fucking like have a beer and watch football or whatever. And
I just want to grill, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Like I am glad, as much as it, everything sucks, right? The world is a thorn.
Yeah.
Existence is futile. But it does. Sometimes you're just like, oh God, it sucks so much not having like as much regular sex as I did once upon a time. And then on the flip side, sometimes I'm like, man, it's really nice to not have to do like
strange.
Dude, sex is a chore. Like the regularity of it, it can be easy to, it can be easy to fall into that, like for anyone.
It's unsexy, yeah.
Yeah, it can be easy to fall into it, and so it's work, man. So anyway, that shit fucking cracked me up, because he's just like, I just want to grill cheeseburgers, I was like, dude, I know what you mean, dude. Like, I know what you mean. Like, anybody has sex with anybody enough times, like it's gonna get like. You're gonna need to break. You're gonna need to make. There's only so many holes and positions, and there's a lot. There's a lot, man.
There are a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot, but like there's only so many. There's still a finite amount. Eventually, you're gonna fucking, you need to grill some cheeseburgers. Like, you need to grill some cheeseburgers.
You got to stay sane.
Yeah, exactly. So, interesting ends of that. Anyway, we were talking about you, and I talked about grilling cheeseburgers again. Sorry.
I like cheeseburgers. No, I wasn't sharing anything terribly exciting.
That's it.
I'm not a cool sex guy like you are.
You know me and my cool sex guyness.
Oh yeah, I've seen your selfies on Twitter.
Oh,
I've seen your mustache.
God, dude, there's the one side view of me with the sunglasses and the mustache. I've been like looking.
You think that's you?
I've been looking at that longingly. Like, I kind of miss. I kind of miss that guy.
We might be in quarantine forever.
Everyone hates it. Yeah, we might be. Anyway, this chick has probably sexted me like 100 million times. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next week what happens. I
wish you luck, Will.
It's a strange situation. I
hope that you can convert this woman.
I feel like I kind of already have like about 80%, but like part of me is like, oh my God, is this going to crash and burn and like bite me in the ass horribly? Is it going to be just a good little social experiment that I did and I met a person that was okay and just had like one bad opinion and that's all right? Or is it going to get really weird and terrible or do something else? I have no idea. It's intriguing.
And it's exciting.
But the important thing is that this is just another thing that I like about COVID, where I can easily and conveniently strong arm people at a distance and prevent them from interacting with me in real life. And
hell yeah.
She's just like, oh man, I can't wait till COVID's over. And I'm like, I mean, yes,
I will though.
But also, like, yeah, but also, I kind of like distance nudes. I don't know, like distance nudes in video games is pretty sweet. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we're about an hour and 5. So if you don't have anything else to say, that's
good. I'll work on collecting all of my cool sex guy stories.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'll share with the class next time. We can take a deep dive into my penis,
your penis, which where you make the tortillas. A lot of people don't know that, but that's where
and they're delightful.
Yeah,
deliciously sour.
Pintillas, man. You gotta. Well, this has been a
the
deep
secret
dive
ingredient
into my
is
penis. Love. Oh my God.
Love.
The secret ingredient is my cum. All right. Anyway, I have been Metal Music Man.
And I have been Professor Lex.
And this has been a thing that we did. We will catch you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.